welcome back, fans of rugby, everyone else. I am at an 11 right now. Anyway, folks, this is Between the Posts. Once again, we're your hosts, Chris Turner.
Jess, Dombrowski.
Coming at you again. So, folks, we have a jam-packed podcast today.
True.
Numero 9, which is my favorite number. Former Scrummy over here, actually.
Future Scrummy? Former Scrummy? Both.
Former, past, and present.
Yep, there it is.
Ebenezer Screw is going to come with the rest of the ghost and pay me a visit, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
So, of course, we have plenty to wrap up over the LA Sevens weekend, which we're actually still recovering from.
Yep.
Mentally, physically, and spiritually, and professionally, because we have so much to catch up on. It's not even funny, but we're actually trying to squeeze as much time as we can to get through this because we both have so much work left to do.
This is true.
So we have lots of things to go over, but Jess, let's just dive right into the LA Sevens weekend.
Yeah.
How was your experience? Because we both had different roles throughout the weekend, and we barely actually saw each other.
Yeah, Chris and I actually only saw each other for like maybe 10 minutes, like in total over the 4 days that we were there, and that probably included airport pickups and meals and, you know, whatever pictures we managed to squeeze in. But it was a great time. I had a really good time. I mean, obviously, out in California, you're in the sun, you're by the beach, like you're with rugby people, like how can it go wrong? I got to see some of the Invitational on Friday. I watched a whole lot of really talented rugby players and some Falcons, some Eagles, and like everyone else just kind of like mingled in there. And I mean, it was a really good week. Got to meet a lot of new people, got to reconnect with some old friends and people that I work with on a daily basis, and, you know, did some events, did some fundraising. Like I could talk for a lot longer than you guys probably want to listen to me for. But
and you're right. It was absolutely crazy how many professional, just star-studded people that we rubbed shoulders with, ran into.
This is true.
So many future stars.
Yeah.
And so many people of our rugby past and our friends that we ran into that we had no idea were going to be there.
All of the webs started to intersect.
It was just such a beautiful conglomerate of rugby, which I could say. And actually, I want to give a quick shout out to one of my friends that I ran into, Will Nelson. No joke, Willie Nelson out there.
Yeah.
Actually, he is a World Rugby referee. Had no idea he was going to be...
Oh, you did tell me about this.
Actually being there and, you know, working. And then I used to coach him over in Jesuit High School, and I just hear this, like, coach. And for some reason, I knew it was to me. And I was like, turned around, it was him. Wild. So that was just kind of a glimpse, a tip of the iceberg, if you will, of all the people. And we're going to get into all of that, of who we ran into and who we saw.
Yeah, I mean, so I feel like maybe the best way to go about it is, like, we'll just kind of start. I got there Thursday.
Right.
Chris also got there Thursday.
Right.
You know, we kind of were running around, getting acclimated, got our credentials Friday.
Well, you picked me up.
I did literally pick him up from the airport. And I'm sure he's got a video he's going to probably throw up for you guys if you're interested. But yeah.
Well. Here we are in sunny LA. Look at this. Chris and Jess. Look at who picked me up. This is awesome. So yeah, we literally landed. I had to discard at least 2 layers of my clothes because it's 84 degrees and I feel like I've already got a suntan going.
Heck yeah.
Jess is already rocking shorts right now because, you know, she's been here for a couple hours.
Why not?
No, but this is awesome. So this is the beginning of the trip. Hopefully you guys like the rest of it. Cool.
But yeah, I was handling the minivan very well around LA traffic, if you will. Soccer mom to the rescue. Friday was more of just kind of, again, getting acclimated, and we had a really, really cool event Friday night, which was a nice fundraiser. The split for the fundraising profit went to the men's and women's national teams as well as SoCal Youth Rugby. So kind of a cool way to kind of like bring those worlds together, like iron out that pathway for those young players. And Chris actually ran into someone of stature there, and I wish that I had sneakily filmed him and that you guys could have seen him, because the definition of fangirl just does not do it justice. I mean, look at his face right now. But Chris,
am I still blushing?
You're still blushing. I don't think you've washed your hands since.
I really haven't.
But Chris, you want to talk about who you ran into and schmoozed a little bit, maybe?
So there's very few GOATs of the game, in my opinion. Those that are actually still alive and, you know, have created such a dent in the rugby universe.
This is true.
And it was one of those people, before I give out the name and show the pic, it was one of those people that since I started playing the game when I was 14, 15, me and my friends were like trying to be him on the field and like doing certain plays.
He was who you aspired to be.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, out of the corner of my eye, Brian O'Driscoll, Irish rugby legend. We'll throw up the photo for you right now. And my goodness,
he's cheesing.
My face, the eyes of like a crazy person, and I don't know what else to do with my hands. It was like a Ricky Bobby moment where I was like, I just put the thumbs up and had no idea, but it was so wild. I actually had a coworker of ours, Brian, literally stand next to me. I was like, dude, can you just stand next to me? And like, just hopefully take a picture if it ever goes down, because I don't want to pull my phone. It's just going to be weird, right? And it was like a planned thing, but it was on the fly as well. Biggest fanboy, but holy cow. I'll never forget that night.
It was a really good night. It was on top of, it was in LA Live, so kind of middle of LA on the rooftop scene, probably one of the fancier, swankiest places that I've been to.
100%.
Raised a bit of money for the youth programs and for our national teams. We had the men's national team was there, the women's national team. They gave some really rousing, like addressing the audience and some stories about why they do, what they've had to give up, and essentially like what drives them. So it was really cool to see that, and I don't know, just a really cool thing to be a part of, and essentially just kind of like that was what kicked off our weekend on a high note. So
if that was the beginning, I was like, what is going to happen the rest of this week?
It was really cool. And then Saturday went over to the stadium. Games kicked off around 9:45.
9:45, but some people like myself, since I was part of the communications/events team, we had to be there around 6:30 after a busy Friday night of
schmoozing.
Yeah, let's just call it schmoozing. Yeah.
Hey guys, how you doing? I got a couple of our wonderful volunteers with us. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Madeline McAuliffe.
I'm Zach Yoder.
And I'm Andy Wade.
AKA the All-Star team. So we're actually going outside the stadium right now. This is game day, Saturday. And we got pretty cool stadium. We were checking it out. We're just doing a bunch of media ops run through and all that. But I mean, we're trying to give you as much inside access as we can. Hopefully these little things help. But yeah, check you guys later.
Have a good one, guys.
Yeah. And then we had to be at the field. It was just really crazy of a day. Just went through media ops, walked through and everything.
So what did you actually do while you were at the field?
So what I did was I was managing the photographers and videographers on both behind both end zones. And I'll show you a pic of just kind of the access I have. That's me and Brian, who I told you that took the photo of me and Brian O'Driscoll. So, so all I did was just kind of go up and down, make sure that the photographers were keeping in line, make sure they're
not storming the field.
Not storming, of course they're not going to storm the field. And just making sure that everything within the broadcasting rights was pretty much all the T's were crossed and all the I's were dotted, just making sure everyone was in line, basically.
So you were literally up close and personal, could smell the sweat off these players.
Oh, yeah.
You probably heard the pregame pump-up huddles.
Oh, yeah. Well, the pregame, they actually were inside, but postgame.
Oh, the postgame,
because they would literally, I would rub shoulders with these guys. They'd walk by me, and of course, it was basically like, this is how it went, like,
well,
hi guys.
Us scrum halves, yeah.
But it was just
big towering men.
It was wild. So yeah, I had complete access. Like I could have easily just given one of these if I wanted to, which I might have once or twice. It was the USA team. I've seen them once or twice before. But absolute wild that I was just kind of like right there on the field with them. Got to see the access, even though it was working. Technically, in my opinion, it wasn't work, but it was still had a job to do. And again, we got wonderful positive results at the end of it. World Rugby was happy. AEG, who we partnered with for the event of the whole LA Sevens tournament, had nothing but great things to say. So we did a good job. So shout out to everyone within USA Rugby, everyone within World Rugby and AEG who had the brain power to put this together. And just it was such an incredible experience of having that international entertainment / sporting professional experience. Just how crazy regimented time was and how everyone had to be on their A game.
It was very well put together.
It was, and the people who were in charge of it, absolutely wonderful. Big shout out to those guys. But again, so Saturday was crazy. The games happened. USA went 2-1 on the day. Finished the day losing to Australia, unfortunately, but still went off into the playoff rounds, into the playoff picture. And then Sunday happened. Yeah. Most unfortunate, we did lose to the eventual champions, South Africa. So shout out to South Africa. But we unfortunately lost to them in a thriller. Last minute try they scored and kind of put us out of the running for first. But we came back and topped with a great fifth place finish. The stands and the crowd were absolutely wonderful. They were so loud. Even I was just like, oh my goodness! Like I can't imagine what the players must feel like and how much energy they must be feeling throughout the entire weekend.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously a very good event, great event. And then for those of you that haven't seen the final, definitely check that out. I mean...
Fiji v South Africa, our cup final. Straightening through Movenatangi. Fiji are rolling heavy in Los Angeles. And Seven Hans revives the pulse on this gold medal game for South Africa. Oh boy, South Africa are in. Can they score and then knock the conversion over to send us to extra time? Going to bring a try. It's a try. Good work across the line. They've done it. South Africa have done it! The miracle comeback is complete! We're still shaking our heads at how that's all played out.
I was actually watching it from the tunnel underneath the stadium because we were helping bring out the stage for the trophies and stuff, but real cracker of a match and just really good rugby all around. And kind of piggybacking off what I was talking about earlier with the invitational that we had talked so much about with all the amateur and the youth teams and the club teams, if you will. The finals for the men and women's elite were both played in the stadium. So they got to play in front of like almost 20,000 people, which how many of you guys out there get to say that you've done that? I mean, that's a pretty cool feat in and of itself. The two winners of the weekend, the USA Falcons, believe it or not, showing up for USA, giving the people what they want and putting on a show out there. I know a couple of the women's Falcons players, and I know a couple of people they were playing against, so kind of cool to just see them elevate to that next level on this international stage, if you will.
Right.
Also want to give my own personal shout out to my Chicago Lions pals out there. They won the women's open bracket as well and put on a really great show this weekend. So excited to kind of see how they take that momentum and move forward. But all in all, for professional, for international, for amateur, for youth, for club, like you name it, whatever, it was great rugby all weekend long. And Chris, while you guys kind of got to be on the field in the middle, literally, of all of the action, I was a little bit outside of it. So my coworker Brian and I, we were in our USA Rugby tent, and we basically just kind of got to meet a lot of you guys out there that were at the event. So, you know, we had some freebies, some giveaways, some raffles, you know, we raised a little bit of money, we answered a lot of questions, had some meetings. Essentially, it was just really, really cool to get a pulse on what people thought of the event, what people are looking for from us as employees or the USA Rugby as a national office. And it was just a very cool kind of informational gathering, and we got a lot of insight. And so I want to thank you guys for that. And for those of you guys that stopped by and were like, hey, Between the Posts girl, like, thank you.
Really?
Appreciate it.
You got
I did. I'm not going to lie.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then I also wanted to give another quick shout out. So we were located right next to the Wintergreen tent. And for those of you that don't know, Wintergreen is a new partnership that we have with USA Rugby. Chris is going to come around and get some of the products here. We'll just like rotate maybe.
Is this happening? Are we switching spots?
I don't know. I feel
this is
awkward
like a
about it.
Friday situation.
But they basically have it's everything that you need to be an elite athlete. So you've got your like magnesium soak, you've got your muscle warm-ups, you've got your recovery tools, and they had this whole table of products for you to try. And we had some of the national team physios coming over, the strength and conditioning people coming over. So kind of cool to see that happening adjacent to us, and just, you know, the partnerships and again the like networking that happens with all of that. So imagine this times like 13 at least. And so if you guys haven't gotten a chance to, go ahead and check out their products, Wintergreen. And yeah, I mean, I haven't used them myself yet, but I have them in my bag because I started practice this week. So no, I don't need that now. I didn't put deodorant on, but you know, that might not work.
Recommended to temporarily relieve minor pain?
Nope.
That's my entire
But
body.
yeah, I mean, all in all, I'd say it was a really successful weekend. Obviously very happy to be back. As Chris said, still recovering. I did not want to get out of bed this morning or yesterday morning. But hope you guys had fun if you were there. And
before we wrap up this LA Sevens adventure, we do have a quick couple more shout outs that the people who we saw.
The shout out. We need the shout out.
To the shout outs.
To the shout outs.
We have 2 more the shout outs. So the first was we got to finally meet in person Jared Tripper-Povar, the CEO of Ruck ALS. Awesome that he actually threw us some swag, a shirt and a hat. I was actually wearing the hat all day Saturday once he saw me. Here's the picture of him taking the picture of me on the field with the hat and the gear and everything. Pictureception. And it was awesome to meet Tripper, and he actually got to meet many people throughout the weekend, like not only USA people, but from all other teams of all the walks of life. And he probably killed it this weekend.
Yeah. He's such a good guy. And if you guys are interested in who he met and kind of what he's doing again, and you haven't seen that other podcast that we've done with him, go back and check it out. Also, check out his Instagram feed. He was putting up all those photos from the weekend, the behind the scenes, the with the people, and it's kind of cool to just see it happen. So. Yeah,
he was rubbing shoulders with Carl Allis, Perry Baker, Danny Barrett.
All the greats.
Todd Clever. Anyone and everyone under the sun of the USA Rugby was just absolutely thrilled to see Tripper get those ruck stars, as he likes to call them, hashtag ruck stars.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And to cap off the celebrity sightings of the weekend.
Hold on, I have a pre thing. Okay. So I'm standing at my tent, and I get a text from my boss. He's like, "Oh my God, do we have an XL jersey? Like, I need an XL jersey right now." Okay. And I was like, I have one right here. Like, what do you mean? He's like, "I need it for
David the Hoff Hasselhoff, baby, from Baywatch, the one and only." Absolutely electric celebrity appearance. Because I was telling y'all earlier, I was on field level, and I was on that exact side where he came out initially. And it was just one of those things where I'm, doing my job, talking with photographers, yes. And then I see this like really, really tall guy with like a security team around him, and all of a sudden the crowd started getting louder and louder and louder, and I was just like, what's going on? And I look, and I go to one of actually not our own, but one of the videographers that was there. A really cool guy. Shout out to Craig. If you're watching this, Craig, a real cool guy. But I look over, I'm like, Craig, is that David Hasselhoff?
Wait a second. He seems familiar.
I had no idea he was going to be there. I don't think any of us really. And it was like, is that David Hasselhoff? And he kind of took off his sunglasses and goes, that is. And then it was one of those things where I was like, act really professional right now. Act really professional.
It was so cool. He got the crowd chanting USA, somehow accumulated the red rescue board and was like fist pump in the air with it. He went and did the ball toss.
Did the ball toss with Brian O'Driscoll and Lev Kelter. And so of course we're going to throw up those pictures and videos, but the hair stood up on my arms when he had the board and was chanting USA. The 20,000 plus crowd was just... Everyone from Fiji, from Kenya, from Scotland, from Australia, from South Africa, and USA was chanting USA because this guy is an international superstar. Yeah. And it was just wild.
It was so great.
He was sitting in the VIP section and just...
He had a good time.
And had a great time.
Everyone was loving.
And his reactions to like some of those Fijian no-look passes and hits was just like, ooh. I love this sport. But again, absolutely... nutty weekend. I don't know how we
could talk about it for like another 45 minutes. We'll spare you all the extra details. But if you are interested in them, let us know. Reach back out to us. We can keep following up with you.
100%. And hopefully we're going to be there again next year, and so we know what to expect. And then again, there might be some things that will be thrown our way that won't even be on our radar, but. In the meantime, oh my goodness, we'll try to throw up all the highlight videos, the pictures, everything we can to just give you a glimpse of what happened.
The 360 view, if you will.
Tip of the iceberg. And a couple of those would be me on the field with a video, or Jess and I at the final or after the final.
In the tunnel, under the stage.
Yeah, so again, here's all those pics and videos ready for you guys. Hey guys, day 2 here, LA Sevens. It's an absolute beautiful day. Great stadium to be at. Sorry we didn't get much video of you yesterday. I was on the field the whole time, actually right here.
managing the photographers and videographers, but couldn't really have phone access on the field. So hopefully today Jess and I get some cool interviews with the fans and give you as much access as we can. Hey guys, Jess and Chris here at the final. South Africa just came away with an absolute victory.
Crazy match.
Crazy. So that kick in the corner to put it in overtime against Fiji. Woo!
Chaos. Organized, beautiful, elegant chaos,
so,
if you will.
Sorry we couldn't give you much content around. They were just super strict with everything, and Jess was off doing her thing. I was on the field, but
we're just taking laps all the time, keeping busy just for you guys. Give you a great spectacle. So take a look behind the scenes, if you will.
Awesome. But yeah, congrats to Fiji and South Africa making the final, and for the USA finishing 5th. Awesome job, boys. But yeah.
Finger guns out.
Oh.
So a really cool thing that we actually discussed earlier in one of the number 3 or number 4 podcasts was that the Premiership in the United Kingdom had actually partnered up with USA Rugby in providing scholarships for coaches to go and fly over to the UK and actually be a part of this really cool experience where they get to have their USA 300 level credentials and World Rugby level 1 and 2 level credentials, and also just meeting a bunch of teams and coaches and programs and clubs while they're down there. Well, awesome to know that they have actually picked all the individuals for the first round of those scholarships. So shout out to you guys. There was 26 coaches that are representing 19 states.
That's a great spread.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
And I think 5 of those states were actually brand spanking new to the whole experience from last year as well.
I love that.
Just getting new perspectives in all those different areas around the country. But so what they're going to be doing is they're going to be visiting Bath Rugby, Bristol Rugby, Gloucester Rugby, and Worcester. All those clubs, all professional Premiership UK clubs. They're going to be meeting the coaches, having one-on-one and group discussions on the X's and O's of everything. They're going to be rubbing shoulders with players, the directors of rugby, and everything else in between, of just giving them that glimpse of what the highest level can provide and what they actually give back to the players that they're coaching.
A day in the life, how to do it,
100%.
what to expect, and how to get to where they are. So
couldn't have said it better. And so this is actually the Premiership Rugby Scholarships have been continually a major value to coaches growing within the USA Rugby, for which we express our sincerest appreciation to the Premiership Rugby, Friends of the British Council, and all partners for the support of this program. Without all of those partnerships, this would not be possible. So very big shout out to everyone who set the entire thing up, that put out marketing for it, that put out, to share it across all social media channels, and to just get all the wheels rolling down the hill. Fantastic opportunity for all those 26 individuals. And again, this is just the first leg.
yeah,
There's a completely separate leg that's going to be going down in October, I believe. So if you want to, apply, put out your credentials.
why not?
Why not? We'll put the link at the bottom. And again, that will be a generic link that we will, of course, update once it gets sooner. But right now, you could check and follow along on all the action that they're going to be going through, all the places, the clubs, the cultural, transitioning that they're going to be kind of experiencing.
Yeah, and if you're interested, look into it, apply, as we've been joking, send it 2020, why not? Also, follow our training and education department on Instagram and Facebook. They always post updates throughout the whole weekend. They'll post photos, they'll post videos, if they see any cool sites. It's kind of cool because it's almost as if you're a part of it, even if you're just sitting at home in your sweatpants, which is we should
like 90%
we
of the time.
enjoy doing. But yeah, there's lots of ways to get involved, and if it sounds like something you'd be interested in, do what he said. Check it out.
Check it out. And before we go off to the next segment, there's on the 26 individuals we're going to put on a scroll and give a quick shout out to those. And congratulations for being selected. Please make the most of this trip. It's going to be once in a lifetime.
Absolutely.
I know I'm incredibly jealous. I'm sure. I know Jess.
Goes without saying.
I know Jess is, but so please represent the United States with all your pride and all your passion, and bring back as much as you can to the States and help grow the game. So we're gonna kind of take the energy a little bit back here and kind of reflect on a very serious but also uplifting story that had happened in fall of last year in 2019. But we at USA Club Rugby had finally put out in a press release and an article to then put out to the public to make sure all loose ends were tied and make sure everything was in order to properly tell this story. Mm-hmm. So I'm first going to give a quick shout out to Evan Lappin, one of our great copywriters here at USA Club Rugby, who actually put this entire story together and, from beginning to end.
Got the whole 360
whole 360 view of it. So Evan, thank you so much. Shout out to you and your efforts. But essentially it was the story of Mark Owings and how tragedy was averted on the rugby pitch. Mark actually plays and / coaches for Springfield Rugby Club in Arkansas. And last fall, in a hot October game, before the game even happened, suffered a massive heart attack in his car. Before the game, like I had mentioned, he was complaining about dizziness and chest pains and exhaustion, and was trying to cool off as best he could. So he went in the car and jammed up the AC. And lo and behold, he had his heart attack in the car where his girlfriend first saw it. And then the story, how it goes and how it unfolded, was that his own teammates, the opponents, and supporters, and everyone on the pitch came and helped and basically saved Mark's life. And damn, I actually got a little bit emotional right there. So it's just so awesome to see how, even though how tragedy may strike at any time, that players within the rugby community will throw everything aside and not care about the game, not care about their viewpoints about anything, and help the individual that is going through said tragedy, and to basically put all their efforts into helping him live, which they did. So just some info about the game or about the event that happened. So as I explained, Mark had suffered the heart attack before the game. If it wasn't for the quick and trained CPR response and the use of an on-hand automated external defibrillator, which all of you know is an AED, at the pitch, Mark would have not survived. So for the two main individuals that helped resuscitate him and keep him alive during this time before the ambulances showed up was Brett Bibble and Zach Tisdale. Those two outstanding gentlemen actually administered the AED to help revive and keep Mark alive. And then a few months later, were actually presented the Phoenix Award, which is dedicated to first responders and bystanders to save someone's life. So big shout out to those two individuals and actually the quick thinking and quick action that they knew that they had to do to help Mark. And again, this is a big story because not only is Mark an older gentleman, but he's still an active guy and was very healthy. He actually got cleared by his doctor months before to play rugby and everything. But we needed to put it out into the atmosphere for all levels of club rugby or amateur youth about just being ready for tragedies or accidents or incidents and just being able to jump on that as soon as it happens. Because if it weren't for these individuals and if it weren't for having an AED on site, Mark would not be alive today and not be able to thank those who saved him. So anyway, so...
And he's okay now.
He is okay. He is, still coaching, but not really playing as much from what the article had mentioned. And again, it's ultimately what the sport of rugby is. It's battling each other on the pitch, helping and celebrating each other after the win, but not only going arm in arm together in any instance of life and in the sport itself, and how closely these communities are and how much they really reflect on just the love that everyone has for each other in the sport and just the caring and supportiveness. But yeah.
What I will say is when you hear stories like this, and I know we all have stories from our college times or club times when something happens, whether someone gets hurt, some sort of underlying health issue pops up, or a freak storm, like anything crazy out of the ordinary that you're not expecting, it's hugely, hugely, hugely important to have an EAP, which is an emergency action plan, in place. So if this is something that you don't think your club has or something you're not familiar with, we can definitely point you in the right direction on how to get that done. You can do a quick little Google internet search. But essentially knowing what to do in these types of situations, knowing where the nearest hospital is, knowing where the nearest AED is, knowing who on your team is CPR certified to be a safety officer.
Right. Everything
like that, as silly as it may seem to have in place, it literally will save someone's life someday. And I mean, I'm so happy that all of this turned out for the better. And it is, like you said, great to see how the rugby community can come together. But taking this as an experience and learning from it and preventing this kind of thing from happening, and so that we can continue to have more stories like this that end in a happier way, because it's, on a down note, it doesn't always happen that way. So emergency action planning, always take care of it. If you need or have questions on it, reach out to us here at USA Rugby, reach out to your local union, do a Google search. I mean, information's out there, folks. We just got to grab it and put it together to make it your own.
And always expect the unexpected as well.
True.
And like you said, planning for all those things, because as we all know, life loves to throw little things and challenges and curveballs our way. So just being prepared for that is 90% of the battle. But again, quick shout out to, Brett Babel and Zach Tisdale, who helped Mark Owings, but also the Springfield RFC and then the Little Rock Stormers, which they were playing away at their field, and then those supporters and those individuals for that team to help him. Big shout out to you guys, and without your help, this would be a lot different of a story.
We thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are slowly running out of time here just because Chris and I obviously like to talk, and you know you love to listen to us and all the information that we have. My favorite personal plug on the weekly basis that we do is for the Training and Education Department National Development Tours. So I know a couple of you guys have heard about them, signed up, and had really good experiences, so we've heard. The next upcoming one is March 6th to 8th in Washington, D.C. is the next National Development Tour. We've got quite a few great speakers on the docket, a little bit different than some of the other ones, so you're going to get a whole new perspective. We've got Andrew Douglas, the head coach of Old Glory, Scott Lawrence, head coach of Atlanta, Derek Summers, personal friend, hey Derek, and Luke Rogan, who are two MLR referees on the, circuit, on the scene right now, if you will, and Alex Carlson with Battlefield Rugby. So these are some of the people that are going to be there to hear what you have to ask and what you have to say, and also share their side of things. And if there's someone that you aspire to be like, get there. Just do it. Make it happen. And this is taking place at Trinity Washington University on the 7th, Cardinal Stadium at Catholic University on the 8th, and at Hyatt Place, the hotel, on the 6th. So kind of a couple different places. So there's going to be a whole lot of areas for you to get involved, ways for you to meet people. If you're interested, check out education.usa.rugby. Or send an email to education@usa.rugby, and our awesome training and education department will be able to kind of put you in touch with the right people, get you signed up, and let you know of any other upcoming opportunities if for whatever reason this does not work out for you. So take a look. I cannot stress it enough. They are great, great, great weekends, and there's so much to learn out there. So help yourself.
Help yourself. And this is going to roll into the next weekend's training and education courses.
True.
And as I am going to
start... On the cheat sheet right
and
here.
as I'm going to start doing every week, I'm going to put it on the screen for you guys and do a quick roll of it. So March 6th, which is a Friday, that will be, as Jess mentioned, the Hyatt Place in Washington, D.C. That'll be National Development Tour. And then as March 7th rolls around, we got Rogers-Williams University, Bristol, Rhode Island, USA Rugby Level 200, World Rugby Level 100. That same day in Highland Elementary School, Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. USA Rugby 200, World Rugby 1, Trinity Washington University as part of the National Development Tour, March 7th on Saturday. Again, March 7th on Saturday, Trinity Washington University. That'll be, again, Level 200 and Rugby 100. And then we have in West Valley Junior High, Yakima, Washington, March 8th. And that's a Sunday, folks. USA Rugby Level 200, World Rugby Level 1. And then moving on to Colchester, Vermont, and St. Michael's College, USA Rugby 200, World Rugby Level 1. And finishing up here, we're going to go back to Yakima, Washington for Level 1 officiating on Sunday. Rugby National Office,
That's us.
March 8th, Sunday, Lafayette, Colorado, Level 1 officiating. And finishing up the weekend on March 8th, Youth High School National Development Tour Player Clinic at Cardinal Stadium and Catholic University, Washington, D.C.
Okay, you're clearly in the wrong sport, because I felt like I was watching a horse race right there, and I was emotionally invested because of the tone, but not as invested enough because I didn't place any bets. But that was awesome. Like he said, he's going to put them all online for you guys in case you didn't quite get his announcer. I don't even know what
bravado.
It was great. Bravado. Yeah, perfect word for that.
But yeah, so again, we're going to put it up for you, all the links at the bottom for you guys to check it out. Check it out. It's going to be a great weekend ahead.
All right, folks, last but not least, thanks for sticking with us. This is obviously the most enjoyable part of the podcast, as I am a broken record and say every single week. Chris has found probably one of our most stoic rugby dogs of the week thus far, and yet the name is a little bit different than you might intend, but I think it speaks of big personality and some big swagger.
Yes.
So take a look at Mr. Beanie Weenie with San Francisco Golden Gate. This dog is like movie star status, I feel.
He is so ready to have his headshot be sent out for
in
all.
My side? Oh, you mean this one?
For all the modeling gigs there can be, and actually,
and there's probably plenty.
And I'm not sure if the individual next to him is just a fan or the owner of the dog, but
either way, lucky.
She also looks
She's
like she could
lucky.
be ready for some modeling gigs herself too.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got the glasses.
This is like
on,
a total power pose, like all within the one frame.
Right? If a dog could emulate its owner's or a human's personality, this is pretty spot on right here. They're both just so confident. Look at that. And look, they're probably gonna watch the game or warming up before one of their games, and
they're settling in for a good time.
Honestly, I'm ready to sub that dong in as like an open side or blind side flank. It's just got I'm ready to roll. Let's go.
So take a look and please continue to send us and tag us and forward us and blah, blah, blah. All your rugby dogs. We love to see it.
Rugby
so much.
Oh, and hashtag Pupper of the Pitch.
Hashtag Pupper of the Pitch. So thanks again, guys. We appreciate you sticking with us. We're going to throw up, again, all those links and everything that you hadn't seen. But if you've got questions, reach out to us at
podcast@usa.rugby. Please and thank you guys so much. And again, we're still looking for those video submissions. You could be the first. Ooh, how about that?
Okay, well, have a great rest of your day, folks.
And before we forget, if you want to play, coach, or support your local rugby team, please go to Find a Club on our USA Rugby website. Again, we're going to put the links at the bottom. But if you want to play youth, high school, college, amateur, men's, women's, 15s, 7s, beach, touch, please go check out these links here. And again, even if you can't play or coach, go support your local club, have a beer with them or an adult beverage, and they'll absolutely love you for it. And then, again, you're going to make some friends along the way, hopefully some lifelongers, because that's what happens in sport rugby. Again, guys, thank you so much once again for going through with this exciting last weekend of LA Sevens and everything else. Again, we have to get back to work because there's the papers are piling up, so to speak.
Yeah. So thank you and good night.
Good night.